Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another PGR reaction. Today we have Extinction as requested by Mr. MP3. I still wanted to hear more stuff from the older generation of PGR and like where they came from, and apparently this is a release track, so that's exactly what I was asking for, and it's perfect length for me to get to, so without further ado, let's go! I love how whenever these songs start, I can almost feel that they're like of a different generation. Because I know they are, but like, you know what I mean? The feel is completely unique. Ooh, the halftime, okay. I thought it was gonna go standard, like double this time, but kind of right in there with the power. I love that bass line on the bottom. It's just that synth keeps rolling through. Great energy. There's the double time I was expecting. I might be letting myself get blinded by nostalgia a little bit by this tone, but man, it brings back so many memories. Nice little subtle break there. Stripping it way down. Hell yeah. See, this one still has that, like, OG sound I was hoping to hear. But interestingly, it almost sounds a little bit more like it knows what it wants to do for the overall tone of the song. It feels like they had a better idea of the direction at this point. Which, if this was a release track, I don't know if the other one was. But hey, sometimes that just happens. It just feels a little less cookie cutter. It still has those aspects, but you'll just always catch me vibing, no matter what. I can't help it. And the fade out, as expected there. A lot of the earlier tracks seemed to fade out because they didn't know how to end it for a full version, or they weren't asked to make a full version, so it just naturally would loop. I always thought that was kind of cool. A lot of games have that situation, especially in the earlier songs compared to like more recent ones where they figure out what they're doing and they start allowing the producers to create their own full versions separately. I always just think that's kind of a neat factor. But yeah, as far as like analysis goes, this one just felt, like I said earlier, kind of more like it understood the assignment of like what tone to go for compared to the other one. And it's not that the other one didn't have a tone to go for. They were still trying to find that space to fill and like where the personality lies. But for this one, it just felt a little bit more personal, like it actually was going for something compared to the other. Again, you can just kind of have those moments sometimes as producers. Some songs will hit better than others, and it's not necessarily intentional or not intentional how that goes. It can be completely random at sometimes. But nonetheless, this one still just sounded like it was going for a specific vibe that it nailed, and it didn't have as many of those cookie cutter aspects, like I said too. This one still hit a lot of those like stereotypical like cookie cutter-esque vibes from EDM, dubstep, like you're trying to figure out something fresh and original to do, and the answer how to do that is basically doing stuff that's marginally more complex, adding some different breaks in there and kind of changing it up a little bit more often. That was really where a lot of people were going at this point with music, and especially EDM. So it's like, okay, well, we have that vibe, but at the same time, this felt like it was going for a much more somber tone. Like the character they were trying to represent was somebody who is fighting in the middle of the night. That's something that I was picking out of this song just based on the overall tone of it. They really had that on lock. When I listened to Final Creation, it felt like that one was a little bit more out of the comfort zone for Haloweak. Like they were trying to do something different, but this feels more like they understood the genre overall better, so they were able to hit a tone that they weren't able to get for Final Creation, and it just felt like it was understood as a blanket much better. That's obviously not to say that the prior song was bad, it's just sometimes you hit a genre that you just get better than other ones. Like for me as a drummer, I understand like how rock and metal works better than I do fusion or like death metal with a bunch of drum stuff. Like you can conceptualize, you can kind of understand as listening to it, but like when you sit behind the kit or you're a producer trying to recreate that sound, it can be so much more difficult to replicate that tone rather than just hearing it and kind of understanding what they're going for. That's a completely different muscle that you have to exercise in order to get better at it, and I definitely believe that Haloweak did that over time, of course, and has gotten better overall as a musician and producer, and now they can basically do whatever genre they need to because they have, and it sounds so great. But hearing these early songs, just like when I listened to Final Creation, is really cool to hear where that started. And with this one being a little bit more, in my opinion, kind of an understood piece, like they knew what they were getting at, that's what makes this so interesting, because Final Creation, I assume, was probably put out after this one, given that they said that this was a release track. But I also don't know. Maybe Final Creation was, and it was just that genre confusion there. This, again, is why I love to hear the original songs from games, because it's just such a different approach. The learning curve that you go through can be either a completely straight linear line, or it can be an absolute minefield of like mountains, hills, and valleys. Like you will just constantly be struggling to find that tone. But sometimes even something as simple as the character that you're trying to write for can change your entire perspective on a song and make you write something that's just more in general approachable. And that again is why this is so good as a song and why I love to listen to these. So I know that the comment that requested this one said I should also listen to Bad Connections and Brand New, and those are both also release tracks. But a lot of people also said I should be getting to Dreaming of the Glowing Place, which I believe is from like the most recent event, like most brand new song they have. So I think I might actually get to that one next time just to hear what that is and kind of process what's new, and maybe have this like whiplash effect of listening to really early songs and then going back to the stuff that's like most recent. I know it's probably not a Haloweak production, so like that won't be a factor, but just hearing that approach again is really the core of why I love to do this and hear those earlier songs as well. But if you want me to get to something else and something that I haven't mentioned so far in this video, leave it down in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to it. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!